Hey, how's it going, everybody? Mike Weber here, your Los Angeles real estate broker, here with your market update for the beginning of September 2020. I gotta say, every week that goes by, the stuff that's happening in the real estate space really just blows my mind. I mean, I've been in the real estate business for 6 or 7 years now, and I really never would have expected that some of the things that are happening right now are actually taking place, but they are, and I'm here to share them with you guys. So one of the new things that just happened, and it's interesting because just recently I was talking about some of these ideas and some of the ways the government is intervening in the real estate market and preventing the market from adjusting the way that it otherwise likely would. And so sure enough, not just a week or so after I published that video, which you guys should take a look at if you haven't already, Governor Newsom just passed a law 2 days ago that essentially is extending the eviction moratorium or creating a new moratorium on evictions until January 31st, 2021. And so there's a lot of provisions in this law that got passed. A lot of implications for homeowners or property owners, landlords, and of course renters as well. I'm going to go ahead and do a separate video just covering that topic because I feel that it's very, very important for people to understand it and its implications in the market and for the aforementioned parties. So keep an eye out for that video that'll be coming up very soon. Now let's get into the market update for the beginning of September. And it's totally unbelievable what we're seeing. We're seeing an unprecedented spike in real estate prices, very similar to what's been happening in the stock market over the last couple months, holding the last couple of days, of course, where there was finally some weakness in the stock market. But overall, stock market is sitting at new highs. Most indexes are sitting at new highs. A lot of companies are going stratospheric, and we're seeing a similar thing happening in real estate right now, at least in the Los Angeles area. Now, of course, there's parts of the market like San Francisco, New York, that are doing pretty poorly in terms of sales and whatnot. But a lot of those people are really just moving out to suburbs or neighboring areas. So we're seeing a huge spike in those corresponding areas. But in any case, we'll take a look at what's happening first in Los Angeles County as a whole, and for median prices, supply of inventory, and the number of closed sales taking place. And then we'll take a look at the South Bay beach cities where I live and see what's happening there as well. Now, importantly, even though I'm seeing prices spike, the data is showing prices are spiking, a lot of properties are still sitting on the market. And what I am seeing that you might not see in these numbers is that when a property is overpriced a little bit, maybe it's not, as desirable for one reason or another, there isn't the same, multiple offer sort of situation for those kinds of properties where a couple years ago it pretty much didn't matter, what condition the property was in. Even if you overpriced it substantially, you'd still get offers. The market was pretty forgiving. So now you definitely have to be priced well. You certainly want to be in presentable condition. But that being said, the properties that are selling are definitely selling for much higher amounts than they were just a year ago. Now again, I talked in another video, my most recent video, about whether or not we're going to see a crash coming. A lot of really smart people are forecasting a crash. They were all saying in 2020. Of course, now they're pushing that forward to 2021. And I covered a lot of the main reasons in that video why that could happen, but also why it could be extended further or potentially not even happen at all as a result of the government intervention, the intervention by the Federal Reserve, and so on. So again, take a look at that video. Now, if you find these videos useful and you haven't subscribed so far, definitely go ahead and do that now. And yeah, let me know what you're seeing in your area as well in the comments down below, as well as what you guys think is going to happen with all of this government intervention and how that's going to affect the real estate market, at the end of 2020 going into 2021. So all that said, let's jump in. Let's take a look at the numbers. All right, so we'll start out in Los Angeles County as a whole, and what we see here is a dramatic spike upwards in the last couple months. In fact, year over year, median home prices in Los Angeles are up 13.2%. Now, I haven't seen a spike this notable since I've been in real estate, and if you go all the way back, I mean, the only time you can see something in the relatively recent past similar is all the way back here, kind of in February through July 2013, and it was similar in terms of the scale of price increases. But that means all the way from 2013 until now, we really haven't seen any sort of spike in real estate prices like that. So I mean, this is all on the back of a ton of economic weakness. Over a third of renters not paying their rent, and a huge number of people now delinquent or are in forbearance on their mortgage loans, and yet somehow mortgage prices are spiking dramatically. So again, we're up 13.2% year over year in Los Angeles County as a whole. Pretty unbelievable. And then here, if we look at the supply of inventory, what we see is that we're down just 5.9% compared to a year ago. So inventory is, kind of where we would normally expect for this time of year. I was anticipating seeing a lot more inventory come on the market as a result of, people not being able to make their payments and renters not making their rent payments. But instead, as you know, with the forbearance that, went into effect, these eviction moratoriums, and all of the other ways that the market is being controlled by, public officials, we're not seeing that at all. In fact, we're down just 6% compared to a year ago. So really not a lot of inventory. Of course, 3.2 months inventory is considered to be extremely low, generally speaking, and that low inventory environment coupled with the extremely low mortgage rates that are available in the market are causing real estate prices to really go up. So now let's look at closed sales, and we see we're down just 4.7% compared to a year ago. And again, I mean, when you see this, I mean, it is really unbelievable, kind of the growth that we had in closed sales in just a few short months. Now, granted, the beginning of the year was muted heavily because of the coronavirus and the lockdowns, so it does make sense that there was a lot of pent-up activity that wasn't taking place that all of a sudden now is taking place. So that does make sense. And overall, I mean, closed sales are back to where they otherwise would have been, a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever the case may be. Now, if we take a look at the South Bay and see what's happening there, I mean, again, we're seeing the exact same thing. Prices are up 11.5%, median prices across the board as compared to a year ago. And if we go here to the max view, again, really back to 2013 where we see something similar. It may even be larger here in 2020 than it was back then. And I mean, it's really just amazing because, the market was really kind of tapering off, in 2018, even in 2019, it was pretty flat. Obviously, prices are pretty high. There's affordability issues out there. But amazingly, both the extremely low interest rates available in the market now, and I think people's desire to have a place of their own, for safety, so they have space because of this COVID situation that's going on right now. Those are clearly the two drivers that are really driving this market forward and creating this rising price environment that we're seeing, at a time when many people would consider this very late stage in the real estate cycle or the economic cycle this time around as well. Now, if we take a look at the month supply of inventory in the South Bay, we see that we're down 6.9% compared to a year ago. So very similar to what we're seeing in Los Angeles County, just down a little bit, kind of back to where we would normally expect there as well. And then if we look at the number of closed sales, I mean, we are just down 1.7% compared to a year ago for last month, the end of last month. So it's, back to business as usual in the South Bay anyways. So it is really going to be incredible to see what is going to happen, not just over these next couple months, but really next year as these forbearances, come to an end, whether or not, the government's going to, extend them another year or another 6 months, or how that's going to play out, as well as this new moratorium on evictions that now extends all the way through January, that has some pretty extreme stuff wrapped into it, which is very hard to believe, but I'll be sharing that in a video with you guys soon. So all of that stuff together with these low interest rates, we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of new layoffs being announced right now across the country. In the state, a lot of large employers are laying off large percentages of their workforce. I know county, city, state is also starting to lay off a lot of their employees as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll keep you guys updated. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do that now. If you want to look at any properties that are listed on the multiple listing service, visit us at southbayonsale.com. And if you need help with anything real estate related, anywhere in Los Angeles, give me a shout. I'm a phone call away. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.